Hello friends, welcome to Kamat Astrology, and today we will talk about the total solar eclipse which is going to occur on 14th December 2020 in the sign of Scorpio or Vrishik. In this video we will analyze the impact of this solar eclipse on the world in general as well as on various ascendants. Om Shri Ramaya Namaha. Now, before we proceed further, let us understand what exactly is a total solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse occurs when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth. That is, the sun, the moon, and the earth are aligned in almost a straight line, and the moon blocks the sun's light from reaching the earth and casts a shadow on the earth. So on 14 December 2020, we are going to have a total solar eclipse wherein the moon comes between the sun and the earth and blocks the light of the sun from reaching the earth. Now, this eclipse will be visible in Chile, Argentina, South Africa, Bolivia, and parts of India also. This eclipse occurs on a new moon day. The timing of this eclipse is around 7:02 pm on 14th December, and this will go on till around 12:30 pm. So this is a very intense eclipse and it has phenomenal meaning in times to come and has a drastic impact on the world in general. Now let us try to astrologically analyze this eclipse. So this eclipse is occurring in the sign of Scorpio, and in this picture you can see there are 6 planets involved in this eclipse. That is the moon represented by MO, the sun represented by SU, ketu represented by KE, who is the main reason for this eclipse, mercury represented by ME, and Venus represented by VE. So you can see these 5 planets are in the sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. That is, the zodiac sign of Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Since the sun and the moon are placed together in the same sign, it means this eclipse is occurring on a new moon day. Now look at the degrees of the sun. The sun is at 28 degrees 55 minutes. Okay, the moon is at 27 degrees 56 minutes, and mercury is at 25 degrees 51 minutes, which means mercury is combust. So what does the sun represent? The sun represents our soul, the moon represents our mind, mercury represents our intellect, our decision making ability, our communication skills, our analytical skills, and Venus represents partnerships. Okay, Venus represents luxuries and comforts. So all these key elements are involved in this eclipse. Now what does ketu represent? Ketu represents spirituality. He represents transformation. This eclipse is also occurring in the 8th house in the natural zodiac, that is in the sign of Scorpio, and this indicates transformation or a new beginning. It indicates a new beginning of things. Another thing you can see is that mercury is at 25 degrees 51 minutes. Ketu is also at 25 degrees 37 minutes. So mercury is very close to ketu. Okay, and therefore this eclipse has a major impact on our decision making ability, that is mercury, and also on our soul, that is the sun, and moon, that is the mind. So this indicates or hints towards a major transformation in the world to come in times ahead. Now we also need to analyze the nakshatra in which this eclipse is going to occur. So this eclipse is going to occur in the nakshatra of Jyeshtha. Now what does Jyeshtha nakshatra represent? Jyeshtha means the eldest. Okay, and therefore this nakshatra represents seniority, it represents power, it represents authority. The lord of this nakshatra is Mercury or Budh. Okay, and it is a tamasic nakshatra. The deity of this nakshatra is Indra. Indra is the chief of demigods, and he always has a lot of luxury, opulence with him. Okay, so this nakshatra, that is the Jyeshtha nakshatra, is the nakshatra in which this eclipse is going to occur, and therefore this eclipse will have a major impact on the people who are in positions of authority, who are seniors, and it also has a major impact on the government because the sun is involved. So because of this eclipse, there are going to be major changes in the government in times to come. Okay, the behavior of the governments will undergo a major transformation across the world. Also, wherever the sun sits, as I explained earlier, it throws light on the situation. Okay, and the sun is right now present in the 8th house of Scorpio. So the 8th house of Scorpio represents the dark web. It represents scandals because it is the natural 8th house. It represents inheritance. It represents accidents. So in the times to come, that is after 14th December 2020, lot of scandals involving people in high positions, in high authority in the government are going to come out, and these people will be totally exposed. Whatever they have tried to hide till now, that will all be exposed and come out in the public domain. And this is definitely going to happen because from 20th November, Saturn and Jupiter are also conjunct, and Saturn represents karmic justice. He is in the natural 10th house right now, conjunct Jupiter. So Saturn is also going to do justice. The judiciary is going to become very strong. And because Saturn and Jupiter are cold planets post 14 December 2020, we will also see that there will be a lot of snowfall in countries in the northern hemisphere. The climatic changes will be dramatic. There will be drastic changes in the climate. Now, one advice of caution to everyone is that eclipse indicates an unsettled energy. Okay, so it is not a good time to take important decisions. This is because Mercury is very close to Ketu. Mercury represents our intellect. The sun represents our soul. The moon represents our mind. And at this point in time, both our mind, our soul, as well as our intellect is entangled into something. Okay, so it is better to postpone major decisions at this point. Be patient and let Mercury move into the sign of Sagittarius. Then only you take major decisions, because this eclipse is going to indicate certain drastic events in times to come. Now, if you look at the planet Venus does lie in the sign of Scorpio, but it lies in the nakshatra of Anuradha and it is not in the Jyeshtha nakshatra. So it means that because of this eclipse, there will be some stress on our financial resources, on our partnerships. Venus represents luxury, comforts, and partnerships, while Mercury represents communication, logic, and intellect. And when these things are influenced by Ketu, there is obviously some stress. So avoid taking major decisions at least till 24th December 2020. Let the eclipse pass on 14 December 2020. Let the Graha Yuddha also come to an end, and then you can take major decisions. Another thing is Jyeshtha Nakshatra, in which this eclipse is going to occur, that represents seniority and authority. With seniority often comes ego. And when Ketu is conjunct the sun, it means you have to learn to let go your ego for better things to happen in life. So if you are in a senior position, if you are in an authoritative position, please don't try to force yourself on your subordinates, because that may not be viewed nicely. Instead, let go of your ego, think with a balanced mind, and then only come to conclusions and asking people to do their work. Now, looking at the negative side of this eclipse, again, because there are almost 5 planets involved in this eclipse, if there is any major disease going on in the society, okay, it is quite possible that a second wave of this disease might happen. Also, the cold in this period will increase dramatically, because if you see, Saturn and Jupiter are conjunct, both are very cold planets, okay, and diseases can spread easily in a cold atmosphere. So a second wave of the disease might occur. People need to be very cautious in this time. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of scandals are now going to come out, because this is the 8th house in the natural zodiac, which represents scandals. Both the luminaries sun and moon are present here, okay, and therefore all light is thrown on these scandals. That is, these people will be totally exposed. Judiciary will become very strong, because Saturn is also very strong, and it is now time for judgment. So it is time when God gives his judgment and protects the good people, and this is done through Saturn. Saturn also represents the masses, okay. Sun represents the government or authority, and if you can see, there will be lot of struggles between the masses and the government in times to come, because Saturn represents the masses, Sun represents power and authority, and when power and authority is eclipsed, there are bound to be clashes between the masses and the government. So across the world, you will see ethnic groups, you will see ethnic clashes post this eclipse. The other important thing is, because Saturn is conjunct Jupiter, okay, Jupiter is a planet on which there are cyclones, storms at very high speeds. Saturn is a very cold planet. Saturn represents the air element, okay, and therefore across countries in the northern hemisphere, parts of southern India, parts of western India, we are going to see cyclones, storms, etc., which will come. Ketu in the 8th house indicates a spiritual awakening. Okay, so this is a time when people will spiritually get awakened. They will try to align themselves to their spiritual beliefs, and they will try to come out of difficult situations that they are finding themselves in. This eclipse also indicates a possibility of certain communal clashes in parts of Bengal in the months of January. The other thing is, this eclipse also indicates the possibility of earthquakes in certain parts of China, Turkey, and South America. It indicates a new beginning, it indicates a transformation of the society, but certain hardships are necessary to make us awakened and to get aligned to the will of God. Now, because this eclipse is occurring in the Jyeshtha Nakshatra, and the deity of Jyeshtha Nakshatra is Indra, Indra used to perform a lot of sacrifices, and as a result of those sacrifices or yajnas, he attained the position of chief of demigods. Similarly, what this means is, if you want to attain anything in life, if you want to go ahead with a new beginning, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and that is what this solar eclipse implies. Now, let us do a quick ascendant wise analysis of the impact of this eclipse on each ascendant. So, first, let us look at the Aries ascendant. For Aries ascendant, you can see Uranus is placed in the sign of Mesh or Aries, and this eclipse is going to occur in your 8th house. Both Uranus as well as the 8th house indicates a sudden upheaval, a sudden change. Okay, and this may be a period when you may feel tremendously stressed at a mental level. This is because the moon is also in its debilitation sign, and you can see it is surrounded by 4 planets and also conjunct ketu. So you can expect a lot of mental stress on the days of 14th and 15th December. But be patient, don't take rash decisions, because Uranus also indicates rash decisions and Uranus is in your ascendant. So be patient, wait for the day to pass, and after 24th December, go ahead and take whatever good decisions you want to take. Also take care of your health, because the 8th house also indicates accidents, surgeries, etc. So take good care of your health, take adequate rest, do meditation, and that will help you overcome any negative impact of this eclipse. Let us move to the next ascendant, that is the Taurus ascendant. For Taurus ascendant, we can see Rahu is placed in the ascendant, and this eclipse is occurring in the 7th house of your partnerships, of your marriage. Okay, and your ascendant lord as well as your 6th lord of conflicts, Venus, is placed in the 7th house and is participating in this eclipse. So you may expect some kind of transformation in your partnerships, the people you work with, the business you do. Okay, there may also be some financial stress, because Venus indicates finances, comforts and luxuries. Again, the same advice, be patient, don't be drawn towards sensual pleasures. Take one day at a time and you shall be fine with this eclipse. Let me move to the next ascendant, that is Gemini ascendant. For Gemini ascendant, this eclipse will have a major impact, because the ascendant lord Mercury is placed in your 6th house of conflicts, and it is very close and conjunct to Ketu. They are almost at the same degree, that is around 25 degrees. Okay, so you should be very careful with your communication, especially when you speak to your seniors. Don't do any sudden outburst of emotions. Okay, stay calm, stay patient, do meditative practices, worship Lord Vishnu, and you will be able to overcome the problems that this eclipse may cause. Also, Mercury rules your 4th house of property, vehicles, home. So on the home front or the domestic front also, you may experience certain conflicts during this period. But be patient, do not take hasty decisions, and everything will be fine. Do not try to resist the change that is coming. Just go with the flow. Now for a Cancer ascendant, the eclipse is occurring in your 5th house. And for a Cancer ascendant, the Cancer ascendant is ruled by the moon, which means you are ruled by your emotions. Okay, and the moon is a major participant in this solar eclipse. So have a control over your emotions, be patient. Okay, you can take up some new study, some new mantra practices, and that is going to help you in a big way. Worship Lord Shiva during the time of the eclipse, and good things will happen to you. Moving to the next ascendant, that is the Leo ascendant. The eclipse is occurring in your 4th house. Okay, and the sun rules the Leo ascendant. This is a solar eclipse, so definitely it has a major impact on you on the domestic front, because the 4th house represents domestic peace and happiness. It represents comforts, it represents your sleep. It also represents property related issues. Now when so many planets are placed in your 4th house, there are bound to be some issues related to property, related to domestic peace and happiness which will come out. Okay, so on the domestic front there may be some clashes within the family, but be patient, be calm, and worship the sun, and you will find a lot of peace. Worship Lord Ram, even that will help you in a big way. Chant the name of Ram 108 times during the period of the eclipse, and all the major problems will be averted. Moving to the Virgo ascendant or the Kanya ascendant, the ascendant Lord Mercury is placed in the third house of Scorpio, where the eclipse is going to occur. Now, the third house indicates efforts and siblings. Okay, so you may put in a lot of efforts, but you may not get the desired fruits immediately. So you need to be very patient, you need to work hard and wait for this period of eclipse to get over, and you will see that good things will start happening. Now, for the Tula or the Libra ascendant, the eclipse is occurring in the second house of finances, okay, of your family business, of food. So be careful with the food you eat. Try to avoid eating non-veg or other kinds of stale foods during the eclipse. Rather, on the day of the eclipse, please eat only fruits. Okay, try also avoiding drinking milk and aerated drinks. Okay, now this is going to be a stressful period for your finances. For most of you, your finances will be stressed because Venus is placed in the second house and he is participating in this eclipse. So be careful with your finances. Do not go overboard. Do not spend your money unnecessarily. And worship Lord Narsimha, and this will help you in a big way. For the Sagittarius ascendant, the eclipse is occurring in the 12th house, which again indicates high expenditure, okay, some kind of travel, some kind of losses. So during the period of this eclipse, you may feel a need to go into isolation, to introspect within yourself. So it is a good time to meditate on the Supreme Being or meditate on your Guru. That is going to give you a lot of peace. 12th house also means giving away something. So try donating money to the poor people on the day of the eclipse, and that will give you a lot of peace and prosperity in times ahead. For a Capricorn ascendant, the eclipse is occurring in the 11th house of Scorpio. 11th house is the house of friend circle, of your network, of general gains in life. Okay, and you may be under some stress with respect to your friend circle, with respect to your relations with your friends. Okay, so be patient, do not go overboard, do not get emotional, stay calm, and you will definitely prosper. Also, try and worship Lord Vishnu in this period, and definitely you will get immense peace of mind. Remember that your ascendant Lord Saturn is right now present in the ascendant, conjunct Jupiter. Okay, so it indicates that this is a time where you have to be patient, you have to work hard to realistically be able to achieve your goals. There are bound to be delays, there are bound to be hurdles, but Saturn definitely gives the fruits, the end results to the one who works hard and who remains patient. So be patient is what I want to tell to the Capricorn ascendant. Now for the Aquarius ascendant or the Kumbh ascendant, the eclipse is occurring in your 10th house of career. Okay, so this eclipse could possibly indicate a change in your job. Okay, you may want to change your job, but do not take that decision right now. Hold on for some time, let the eclipse get over, and after 24th December you move ahead with your plans, and definitely you will find success. For the Pisces ascendant, the eclipse is occurring in the 9th house of Scorpio. 9th house is the house of gurus, of elderly persons, of teachers. So It is best if you go to your gurus, serve them in some way, okay, and that will negate the negative impacts of this eclipse on you. So try serving your teachers, try serving your gurus, meditate on your guru, and definitely that will give you a lot of good luck, because ninth house also indicates good luck. And worshipping your guru in this time, serving your guru, serving your teachers will give you a lot of good luck. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to our channel Kamath Astrology, do so now by clicking the subscribe button. So when I add a new video, you will be automatically notified. For any consultation, for any queries, please email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and we'll be glad to assist you. To know more about us, visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. So friends, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon shortly with another video. Till then, bye. Take care.